Code snippets are one of the coolest features of Visual Studio that can speed up your coding a lot. Let's see this in action. Here I've got a class called Code Snippet Examples. Let's say we want to create a constructor for this class. Most developers do it this way. Here is a faster way of doing that using a code snippet. Did you see how faster it is? So how does this work? There are certain reserved keywords that you can use to automatically insert a ready-made code snippet into your code. In this case, I use the keyword ctor as in short for constructor, and then press the tab. Let's try again. I didn't have to manually type the name of a class for the constructor method. All I typed was ctor. It's very easy. Now let's create an auto-implemented property here called firstName. This is how developers who don't use code snippets do this. You can do this faster using a code snippet. Just type prop and then press the tab. Note that the type is highlighted. It's ready for you to specify the data type of this property. We type in string and then press the tab again. Now the focus is on the name of the property. Let's give it a name. As you see, some code snippets require parameters. In this case, the name and type of a property are the parameters that we have to manually specify. With the last example for a constructor, we didn't have to specify any parameters. When you need to specify parameters, you hit the tab to move to the next parameter. Here is another code snippet. If you need to create a property with full get and set methods, you type in prop full. Note that Visual Studio created a private field and a public property here. Here is another example. Let's say we want to type console.writeLine in the constructor here. We can do so by typing CW as in short for console.writeLine and then press the tab. There you go. Isn't that great? Here is another one. Let's say in this class we would like to implement the equals method. We can do this by typing equals and pressing the tab. There you go. Visual Studio created two methods for us, equals and getHashCode. You can go ahead and customize these methods according to your needs. Here is another useful one. To create a try-catch block, use try, like this. Or you can use try-f if you want to create a try-finally block. Another useful code snippet is for. Let's try it. Or we can use for for a for loop that decrements the loop variable after each iteration. Here is another useful one. Let's create a list of strings and call it names. Let's say we want to iterate over this list using a for each block. So we type in for each and press tab. Because I created the for each block near the names variable, Visual Studio detected that I may want to iterate over this collection. So I don't have to manually specify the name of the collection or the loop variable. Just press tab to commit the code snippet. You can also use while or do code snippets for loops. Let's try it. So let's recap. Use code snippets to speed up your coding whenever you can. Some common code snippets in Visual Studio are class to create a class, ctor to create a constructor for a class, Prop to create an auto-implemented property. Propful to create a property with a supporting private field. Equals to override the equals method of the base object class. For to create a for loop. For to create a for loop that decrements the loop variable. For each to create a for each loop. While to create a while loop. Do to create a do loop. Try to create a try catch block. Try F to create a try finally block. Interface to create an interface. I hope you enjoyed this lecture.